Hi, I'm Linda Grave. I live in Woodbridge. So we decided to do quite a lot of work on the property to reduce our fuel bills and to look at the whole energy saving and efficiency of the building. And we thought about many different things and in the end settled on external wall insulation as being the major thing that we needed to do. I started by looking at a heat pump and then went full circle back to no, before you do that you need to insulate the property. And the reason for that is because not only was the house cold and drafty, but it was leaking water. So we had water ingress on quite a few areas in the property, and we'd looked at a few different ways of trying to deal with it. And we, in the end, decided that even if we insulated it internally, it wouldn't solve the problems on the outside. So the main project was to do external wall insulation, but added to that, while we had the scaffold in place, we put on some more solar PV on the west-facing roof because we already have some on the south-facing roof. So when looking at how much a project like this costs and how soon you get payback, it's really important to think about everything that you're doing within the project. So we did a lot of different things. So I think it's fair enough to say that the insulation costs £120 per square metre. So that's for your full external insulation, including changing of the soffits and fascias and things like that needs changing. Obviously you need to move the guttering out. We also chose to replace all our windows because they were very old and needed doing. So it was quite a big project. And then on top of that, we put on the solar PV panels. Solar PV is really good value now compared to what it was when we first had our system put on. So I would say that the solar PV will pay itself back in 6 to 8 years. And for us, it could be sooner than that because of the different energy tariffs that are available, and I hope that vehicle-to-grid technologies will take off by then. So that's a really good payback. I think the external wall insulation, based on energy costs and energy crisis and where we're going with that, we're looking at sort of a 15-20 year payback. So it might sound like a lifetime to somebody new moving into a property, but for us, our intention is to stay here. It's a good project to do. I'm very happy with the products that were used on the property, and they will be here for a lifetime, hopefully. So shop around, get some quotes, and really think about top down. Insulate first, then add the other technologies. So having completed the project and living in this house now, with it being 5 degrees outside today, it's lovely. As for future plans for improvements, I would look at adding a heat pump in a few years' time. I will look at vehicle-to-grid technology as soon as it's more available. As I say, I have a very large battery in my electric car, and I want to be able to use that battery to run the home during peak periods. So that is technology I'll be looking at and watching that quite carefully at the moment to see where that goes. And looking at energy tariffs all the time. Don't just sit with one energy tariff and forget about it. Look at what's happening and what's available. But that's the future.